welcome to the Lady Yum Yum Show. Well, it's spring, but it's still cold and blustery out there, so I'm thinking comfort food today, and I'm going to make eggplant Parmesan meatballs. I love eggplant Parmesan, but it's not too healthy. These get all that flavor of a rich, delicious eggplant Parmesan dinner in a nice, healthy little package that I can eat whenever I want them. So let's get started. I have a medium-high heat, and I'm going to add about a tablespoon of oil and some diced eggplant. Now I diced this earlier, and you can see I've left the skin on, and it's about a ½ cube, maybe a little smaller than a ½ cube. And you're going to put a generous amount of salt on it. This will draw out some of that, what people think of as a bitter liquid out of the eggplant. So we'll just leave these sauteing, and I'll stir them and move them around once in a while. It'll take 10 or 15 minutes to get these to the right consistency. Okay, you can see the eggplant is soft and it started to break down. It's still pretty chunky though. You want some of those chunks. And there's no water in my pan either. You want to make sure all the water is dissolved out of it as well. We'll just add this to our mixing bowl, and we're going to let this come to kind of room temperature. We're going to add eggs to it, and we don't want it so hot that the eggs curdle. There we go. Okay, well, I'm impatient. I've let my eggplant cool for a few minutes, and we're going to add the rest of our ingredients. First one is 2 eggs, or you can use the equivalent of, what is it called? Ener-G Egg replacer. If you're vegan, I'll have the brand down below that I've used before. A 1/4 cup of vegan Parmesan or regular Parmesan. A tablespoon of dried parsley. I'm not a big dried parsley fan, but it just works in this recipe. And another thing I don't use very often, but it's the right flavor for this recipe, and that's garlic powder. I'm using 1 teaspoon. So we'll just mix all this up together. Now we'll add Panko breadcrumbs. And Panko breadcrumbs are a bigger, coarser, that's the word, breadcrumb than normal breadcrumbs. And it adds a lighter texture. If you can only get regular breadcrumbs, they work too. You don't want the seasoning in them because we've already added our seasoning. So just get the plain ones. And we're going to add this slowly. I'm going to add about half my breadcrumbs and give it a quick stir. And what you're going for is a good consistency where it's going to stick together and all the moisture is absorbed. So I'm going to add a little more. Sometimes you don't need the full cup. Sometimes you need a little more than a cup. So you want all the breadcrumbs to absorb the liquid. You don't want them to be dry, but you don't want any liquid still spooning out or seeping out. That's the word. What is with me and words today? I don't think I'm going to need all of it. I think that's going to be pretty good. Okay, so it's no liquid coming out of it, but firm and still sticks together. It's not dry. I use this little cookie scoop or ice cream scoop. I only use it for cookies and stuff, so I forgot it's for ice cream. It does make pretty little ice cream balls. It's not the full-size one like you would have in a restaurant. It's not the real teeny one. It's the medium-size one. You can use a spoon. You just want them to be about the same size so they bake all the same. This works really well. So I just scoop it, and then you do get to use your hands. You get a little dirty. And place it on either Silpat or foil-lined cookie sheet. And you're going to place these fairly close together. They don't need a live space because they're not going to change shape at all. And just keep going till the whole cookie sheet is full. And here's the last one. There we go. Wipe my hands off a little, and then this will go in the oven at 375 for regular, 350 for convection. And I can't tell you how long. You'll have to watch it. Time it for about 30 minutes, then start watching until it's brown on the outside. Okay, these look just about done. So you're looking for some brownness, and I usually touch them and make sure they're firm. You don't want them to be real moist in the middle. I think these are done. These smell delicious. Now I serve these lots of different ways. Sometimes I make spaghetti and meatballs. I put them on sandwiches like a sub or a grinder or hero, whatever you call them where you live. And sometimes I have them with lettuce and tomato. I can make patties instead of the balls, and you can have basically a burger. And they all taste delicious. But I have to admit, a lot of times a few don't ever make it to the plate because they're delicious just on their own too. So I'll give them a try. Hot. They're so good. They're crunchy on the outside, but they're super moist on the inside. I think it's the eggplant that does that. And they're a little bit salty from the Parmesan and the salt I added, and they're just delicious. I hope you give this recipe a try. I'll see you next week.